those are the bears. If we have a look at some interesting data, I'm not really sure it's interesting data, but data that everyone can see, you might want to check out, what's it called? Sending data, streaming. I think it's day 1763. For some reason there's a bit of a lag with the old YouTubes, but why's it scheduled? What the fuck is going on? Alright, it's coming through. A little bit of a lag. So you all might be familiar, maybe not, I'm not sure. Command & Conquer and the soundtrack to that. Previously, I don't think you get strikes for soundtracks for games. It's really strange, unless the song was actually a proper song. Did not know that. I thought maybe, just maybe, they would have a thing whereby you would actually, you know, get a strike or some like copyright or something. But it seems to be okay. Now, I thought, why not? I'll document whatever's going on Pulse Chain with HEX, INC, and PulseX. Now, people who are familiar with Pulse Chain, PulseX, INC, HEX, maybe they're a bit fatigued out if they weren't in from the beginning. Maybe they came in at an all-time high during sacrifice phases and things like that. Maybe they lost a little bit of faith, you know, after the correction. I don't know if you call it correction, but the negative 99 from the all-time highs. And now they're sitting back wishing that maybe they bought near the all-time lows. But again, it's hard to pick an all-time low, right? I was almost not funded out of my bags or anything like that, but I had a video back here, basically I think around June, so last financial year technically for Australia, and I was DCAing in, and basically it was about $50 a week or something like that, and the prices at this point in time were 0.00626 hex on Pulse Chain, that is, and it kept dropping. I think, what did we get down to? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was 0.003 something, and there was just a brutal bear market. And of course, I didn't continue on DCAing as much as I should have. Like I said, I went out and bought a new shotgun to have a hobby outside of crypto. Now, what do we got? How is there 11 people? It must be glitching because there's no way there's 11 people on X. But if there is, thank you for tuning in. Not too much happening. Maybe questions go in the chat, but I'm not really too good with questions. But I thought what I would do is have a look at what is going on. Now, funnily enough, the DCAing in that I was doing, I went back and had a look. I had to find this spreadsheet that I buried somewhere in the computer, and I was keeping track of how much I invested versus how much, you know, it was actually worth. And I think 2 days ago it's gone into the green by about 20%. I'm like, that's pretty impressive considering I wasn't selling anything, and I kept buying as it kept going down, dipping lower and lower and lower, getting more hex. And then what I was able to do, because this is the unique thing, well, it's not unique because, you know, if you're familiar with Bitcoin, maybe not Ethereum, but maybe for that or something, or whatever you have to do now, staking it. You know, if you're mining Bitcoin, that's kind of cool, because if you kept mining it as the price kept going up, then maybe, just maybe, it's good that you did that, because at the end of the time frame in which you were looking at, you had more of whatever it is you were mining. So in that example, being Bitcoin, you would have more Bitcoin, and if you would do that and hold on to it for a long time, maybe, just maybe, you did okay, right? So if you have a look at something like HEX, and maybe you're doing that near the all-time lows, I know a lot of people out there, I know that they bought at the all-time high, And I know they locked it away and didn't just like sell it later on for like losses. I'm saying that sarcastically because I fear that people actually did that. I don't know why. It's not my problem, not my issue, but I feel bad for people that did that, you know. Especially with this, whatever's going on now, like I said. Now, the battle, it's kind of topped out at, I saw it at 0.0155 and pulse was 0.0000555, and that was pretty interesting. INC was like 280, it's pushing 280, like $2.80, sorry, and pulse X was like 0.00 something. But relative to what it was at the all-time lows, it's okay. But it's a real interesting battle because these buys just keep coming through. I have seen some sales, but not much. Like, you'll see a few here. Like, I'm going over and using deck screen. I'm not sure if that's the best place to pull all the data being sold and bought, etc. I could go into PulseX. I don't really want to log in and just like reveal like a wallet. But what I will do, which is against best operational security, I'll show you what I was talking about in terms of making a new. What did I do? You know, you make a burner wallet and you connect to not everything, but instead of wearing like 2 condoms, maybe just you've only got the one, you know, a bit less. Unless you're like, who says raw token? I can't remember. That just came to mind. This is funny as shit. Now, Hex Day 1763, right? If you have a look here, this has turned positive and it's kind of impressive. So you see here the little buys I was doing. Starting principal, yeah, it was just, I think it was there. That number rings a bell. One that was like about $50, and you could see 50 Australian. I think I was entering a little bit more, 75, 100. It was very small buys, right? It was basically on a weekly basis, as you can see. And then as the stakes were ending, I was mucking around, I was rolling them, I was adding them, making them more, and I was going to make this big giant ladder. It became too much to keep track of. And looking now, I'm going, this is just basically random. There was a method to my madness. Ideally, I have heard the theory whereby you would push out the furthest first and then reverse it back. So you would have like maximum T-shares. Because if, say, for instance, Hex continues to do this, Pulse continues to do this, Pulse X continues to do this, and INC continues to do this, even with minor setbacks. As we go through and have a look, I think I saw in Hex there was some sells, but have a look, like the US dollar amount is nothing. But then there was a little wall that came in, not a wall, but you know, a little group like here. It seemed to drop off a bit, so I don't know, maybe some people wake up and they're like, oh shit, thanks. Or they're just taking some profits for whatever reason. Because they can. You could go to the wallets, but I don't know. Some of it could be whale games as well, because have a look here, some of them are in profit. Some of them are, where was it? There's a whale address of some sort, quote unquote whale address, and basically there were some pretty decent, see that's a pretty decent buy there. We saw that red candle pullback, but then following these little tiny cells, someone comes in, boom, 2000 INC. Now this one here, I think it was Dolphin, maybe not that one. Yeah, if you have a look, it's not too, like, I'm not seeing masses and masses of sell pressure. It is there, but relative to what it's doing, it's like, obviously we can see the price just going up and to the right. T-shares are kicking in, old stakes from like ages ago now. February. Bro. The fuck? I don't even remember these stakes from this particular wallet. 2023. So, I think I started March. Or is it this one? I know it was roughly this one. About 15th of March, right? And it was about 10 to 12 weeks. I've got a spreadsheet somewhere, keeping track of what I was doing. And I just watched everything get decimated. And then it was probably here. September. Where was the low? What was the all-time low, people? All-time low, 180%. 90 days from today, so 3 months ago. What's that? June, July, thereabouts. That's when this was happening. I was doing this little, like, you can see here, it was like an Uber challenge. Yeah, Uber Eats challenge, so not even the people, just like couriering for food. It was giving me enough income. Like I said, one day, if this stuff scares me like really bad and things get real good and I'm able to have a big large stake end and then make another stake and then make some farms, and then from the farms earn some more INC token to do whatever I want with. So I've heard some people, maybe the loan platforms, I don't know. I wish I didn't sell some of my Hedron and Icosa though, and Com, like when I was dying for money. Because I went back and I'm like, why did I sell some of that stuff? There is some still there, but it's not the end of the world. Like, if Hex does well, I could probably, you know, when stakes end, just remember to mint your Hedron and check out your Com status. Because I'm pretty sure everything's pumping right now in the host chain ecosystem. I don't know about whatever else is happening. But yeah, people would be probably pretty happy with this stuff if they were accumulating at lows. I'm not going to talk about much of this other stuff, to be honest. But I'm pretty happy because finally these ones from back here are in profit. And it's looking to be about 20% so far. So that's not a too bad APR or APY, or it's not a too bad return on investment considering the time frame, especially if you went into stables and they're getting about like 10% a year or something. It's not bad. And the fact that, but see, here's the kicker though. Here's the frustration of the staker class. You may or may not appreciate this if you're familiar with the staker class. Now, I think staker class used to be my name on DLive, or the ones with the lemons, I can't remember. Anyway, and so you have a look here. You've got your principal locked up. So what in the end, I gave up with the ladder system that was like forever coming out, getting more hex. And I just added it all together, dropped it in, went bam, chose a random date, November the 14th. So it's going to be interesting to see what the price is November the 14th, because it would be good, I'm not going to lie, to be able to take this out and take out my 20% profit. Kind of cool. But the fact that you're locking yourself away in this short-term run kind of proves a point where you can, in a way, save yourself from yourself, because whilst it's being locked away, I'm earning some small yield based on the T-share, and I'm sure you will understand about that. And what it's doing is, at the end of this time, say the price runs and moons hard as fuck, and say you're at $3.33, and you then have all this yield that you were able to accumulate. You would be extremely happy, especially if it was larger amounts than like this tiny amount, that you did that, because you were holding, and while you're holding, the thing that you're holding is going up in value. So that's kind of a good outcome, I would say. Got me crazy. Now, what else have we got? Yeah, let's change out that playthrough. All right, now, yeah, where are we going from here? So 7 days we're up 77%. 3 months we're up 176% on HEX itself. Since all-time lows 180%, and 90 days 176. So it's pushing all-time highs technically. 30 days is 269%. That's savage. And the 24-hour performance has been insanely good. Just watching every, clicking refresh is not ideal to be doing this, but I thought I may as well document it. I'm sitting back watching it. Happy that I have cryptocurrency. Never gave up on it. Especially some particular cryptocurrencies that I may be wearing a hat that I created. And quite happy with myself that I didn't give up on it, because there was a lot of temptation. I don't know if you see that meme when the religious person and the lady, you know, is presenting herself, and there's the saying, you know, 3 minutes of passion, pleasure could ruin your life. So I don't know if people maybe gave in to that temptation or something. I don't know, but yeah, if and when HEX does its new all-time high and destroys the new all-time high, most likely Pulse Chain will destroy the all-time high. Most likely Pulse X will destroy the all-time high, and most likely INC will do maybe destroy the all-time high. I don't know, because INC, I did read somewhere from a random Twitter post, so take that for what it is, that maybe INC does not need to go to like $1 billion a token, because then it might have another function that I'm not aware of. There's a link I put in another video basically showing you the inflation rate, so how much you're getting, how much reward you're getting. But will it be that the price of the INC token just keeps going through the roof because of the scarcity, similar to Pulse X as it keeps getting burned up, similar to HEX as it becomes more and more scarce because as stuff gets locked away, T-shares kick in, there's only so much on the market. Maybe there's some buying pressure from INC token, who knows, from the farm, like free money, like why wouldn't you? Unless of course you've got some, you know, things you want to do, depending on what jurisdiction you're lying in and how you're structuring all your shit with your taxes or whatever. But it is really interesting to see this all kick off. Now, let's have a look. So yeah, this is the battle. It keeps trying to pull back, and as it tries to pull back, there's some small sellers out there for whatever reason, which is fine. I'm not like ripping on the sellers, but I'm just saying there's like small sellers and then boom, buyers come in. I've seen this for a long time, and it's bringing back some pretty damn good memories. Now we see here like a sell, I think this is Pulse X. So maybe someone's got some large Pulse X bags, whatever, relatively large, it's like 4 grand, and then so they dump on that, creates that big large red candle. It's like, well, what's gonna happen next? That's what I'm doing their stream for. Let's see what happens. Another one came through, 2,300. So I don't know, someone needs a new Louis Vuitton bag or some shit. What have we got? This is INC, yeah, INC and Pulse. We got V1. Not much action, right? And just as the larger sells come through, some buyers come through. So this is just very impressive. So I'm not sure who's hearing about Pulse Chain, Pulse X, or HEX. For whatever reason, they've got some confidence in the market. It's kind of cool. See, this was the little red wave of red we saw, right? It's like, what, like not much money at all. Look at that. And some greens, followed up by some greens. 600. There's just not many sellers. It's good. And like I said, myself as well, what can I sell? I've got everything's locked away, right? So it's kind of hard to sell stuff that you're locked away. And so then you can go check on chain when things are going to be like minted into existence, and then maybe they get burnt again and you get more T-shares and it becomes even more scarce. Maybe they get put into a farm. I guess you can buy from there, but you know, like, it's not exactly huge sell pressure, if that makes sense. Like not being market dumped adds to deep liquidity pools, and if there's others staking and burning, maybe just maybe it becomes more scarce, and then maybe just maybe price might go up to the rise to T-share rate. It's very interesting to see it play out over time. But in this very, very short term, like the here and now, what we can do is see someone sold $1.38 worth of INC. Okay. Must need that $1.38. But I can't laugh at that, because you know, you do $1.38 and you do that what, 1 million times, 2 million times, 3 million times, and you got yourself a nice little paycheck, right, for the year. Now we've got another sell coming through, 306. See, it's Pulse X up Okay, Pulse 6 INC for whatever reason. Okay. But yeah, it's just interesting to see this actually being profit because that's performed pretty damn well. I'm waiting for this to because this was going to be a bag that I would pretty much dump after X amount of time to build into the habit of taking profits, right? So yeah, God forbid this, God forbid it hits like $3.33 or something. $1, $2, $3, $10. Insane numbers in X amount of time frame, based on what it's currently doing. I would be happily making some more farms out of that. Probably staking some more, because do you really want to like just like you put it into the farms and you risk losing some impermanent losses, etc, etc. Also, you got to sell out some to get some more pulse or whatever you're going to pair it with, and then if it keeps going up and to the right, then it would be kind of cool. You have to weigh up, you know, which is the better maneuver right here. I mean, they all sound pretty good, but then you could lock it away and get more, and watch it go up and then get more, get more, like a self-feeding, infinite money glitch. Now, what else have we got? That is about it. I think I will have a look, and we'll just watch for a bit, and just see if there's any crazy movements up or down. But I don't expect much because I'm not seeing, just there's not much sell pressure, people. Where did all the dumpers go? They got, maybe they like the HEX, huh? Maybe, just maybe. Who would have thought Hexicans like HEX? I mean, yeah, if you're in it for profit, like this one keeps dumping like 500,000 HEX at a time for whatever reason. But see, they're in mad profit. Bought 0 profit. Oh no, that's working. Maybe it's like their dump wallet or some shit. I'm not gonna go into viewing the addresses. It's like too hard because you don't even know who it is. It's probably not a good idea to be doxing people. So this one's a strange one. Like, they are selling, but they're in loss. Huh? Why? 38 sold 11. Oh, but unrealized. Okay, so they could be sitting on a small fortune. Alrighty. Most recently though, latest one, it's another buy coming through. Very cool. It's just savage, like seeing these like double digits on, like across all 4 of them. HEX. I'm not checking HEX, but it's encroaching on like 2 cents or 2 pennies. That's pretty decent performance in like what, 30 days? Not even 30 days, right? Like 270%, 30 days. So I guess I was about to say that's a quarter, but like that's not even not even 9 days. 90 days and done 177. It's like, where is this headed? This is very fucking cool. Got some small buys coming through. So I'm gonna sell, almost offsetting slightly the sell. Interesting. I see. 90 cents sell. 90 cents sell. What the fuck? Yeah, what can you buy for 90 cents these days? But like I said, you do that 2 million times. Okay. Do I wish I bought more at the lows? Yeah, but you know, it's locked away now. It would have been good to maybe buy double and then buy double the amount. But then I don't want to be like buy double the amount and then only stake half. It's like, what if you divide it by 4, send one chunk right out, send one chunk out half that amount, one chunk out a year, one chunk out 5 years or something, you know, or whatever, however you want to do it. That's why I like the ladder system. I both love and hate the ladder system, because if you have enough ladders, you sort of got more of a chance to sort of hit that sweet spot, you know. And especially if it's all the same amount, you're not going to be hurt too bad. But if you have like one giant amount and you just took it and staked it out 15 years, you'd be I wouldn't even be watching the price if I was doing that. But if you have ladders, it's more of, you know, come back, check your intervals, and decide what game you want to play. Because the waiting game is probably the hardest game to play, especially because you can't do anything about it unless you're thinking about emergency end staking. Nothing you can do except wait for that time to pass. That's literally like a time capsule block. Gone. But when you got these shorter stakes, kind of interested to see it play out. One thing I've been noticing, like I said, everyone's been noticing, I'm sure, the T-share rate, you put away enough for one T-share, do it the next day, it's more. The next day, it's more. The next day, it's more. I'm not sure if I was doing that here. See, I hadn't even hit the T-shares yet. See, 1.55 though. It's only a quarter way through as well. Yeah, but this just sort of crept up on me. I'm like watching and going, huh, it's doing stuff. What is it doing? I'm like, where are the sellers? Where are the people that usually motor the price? They're not around. I don't know why. Got some cells coming through. We get a little cell here, you know. Buy, not quite offsetting. Very efficient indeed. when the music stops, you must freeze or some shit. At the moment, it just keeps like, it just keeps going and going and going up and to the right. Very slowly, very steadily. And I think there was some post the other day, came out, was very enlightening for myself because I didn't fully understand it in terms of X, whatever it is. X plus Y squared, some shit or something. It's fascinating though. I'm in two minds. Sell the INC, buy more HEX, and sort of remove the HEX from the hands of people who shouldn't have it, or don't want it for whatever reason. Decisions. Ah, thank you guys for the thank you guys. You can tell the Hexkins are kind of back. Not back, but like you can see there's more activity on X. And content specifically only related to HEX. It's very fascinating. Like I said, I turned off everything. Politics, wars, economy. Although one would argue some levels of intertwinedness, but if I can't change my own life, it's pretty hard for me to change the entire fucking economy, I tell you. This feed, man. Yeah, this is good. See, I'm liking this. See, at one stage I might have been unfollowing people, I'm not sure why. Yeah, a lot of people are noticing though. Very good. What are we gonna do, people, when we get $1 hex? What are we gonna do? This stream is literally watching me use the internet, which I barely use. It just sort of stopped, so I'll jump on and see, catch some of these sellers, eh? Who's doing the selling? The game of HEX continues. See, we got some offsets, like, you got the sell come through, and then yeah, that is a interesting trend, to say the least. Look at it move when it moves though. You see that classic, like, here. I don't know how to explain it. This move. This is the classic HEX move. Just like big ass green candles, just like, but the ratcheting effect of some sort. It seems to be unique, in my opinion, to HEX. This one, not so much. Similar, but this one is the you guys probably know what I'm talking about. This one is something else though. This is like, it's just ratcheting. It's just I don't know what this is. Like, imagine this pattern, if you call it a pattern, sort of a symmetrical, I don't know how to explain it. A symmetrical curve, hockey. So it's not quite a hockey stick. It's sort of just like a smooth curve, right? Imagine a smooth curve, but with candles, with big giant fuck off candles. I mean, you might have that as a response. You know, every action is equal opposite reaction. Someone will come out of the woodworks and just dump. Like dump city, because I'm like, yes, Lambo, Lambo, Lambo. But usually, you see what I mean? Like, it ratchets up, drops off, up, you know. But this time, just imagine a big giant ratchet effect, like candles this size. And that, can we zoom out of this fucking thing? Hang on. Here's the daily. Yeah, so with the invisible line up to 1,000,000, just be like, one candle here is equivalent of these tiny. Probably you can see it better on HEX chart, which I'm not going to pull up, but imagine this candle here, the beginning of that little ratcheting effect. Imagine that, but that tiny little candle is maybe something like this big giant green candles, like that. What would that, where would that take us? So if that's like 1, 2, 3, you know what I'm saying? Get the fucking strap in your, like, whatever the astronauts uses. We're going to fucking Saturn, people. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just envisioning a future whereby that's not impossible. Also, because we got some interesting plays over here on the whatever, Pulse X, Pulse, and see, and the lack of people who want to sell, which is good. And then you've got people who might be interested in earning yield from a stable, which if they were to do on Ethereum would cost them a lot of fees every time they would harvest their yield. It's like, why would you want to lose that if you can get it for free and then just build up a mass amount, and then if you wanted to exit the system, you could, but there would be other ways you could exit the system to try and mitigate. I think people might have seen some of my shit where just trying to figure out the best way to enter and exit and enter into the system, pulse chain that is. And then they've even got the direct on off ramp fiat. Maybe that would be something cool to look at. I don't know. But if you're aware of cryptocurrency, then why not check it out at least? Because if you don't, someone else will. Someone else is already right now. What do we got? Fuck. Crazy hyperactive. Did you buy the blood, people? Did you buy the blood? I have actual on-chain evidence that I bought the blood, and it was fucking painful, I tell you. It was like actual blood. And I'm extremely happy I did. But yeah. As to what the future holds, no one knows. Okay. Telegram provide. Oh my god. Not good. Not good at all. Haven't you guys watched the fucking Snowden movie? Like, anyway. Of course, in my mind, but could be a complete conspiracy, so. The higher your frequency, the more demons tempt you. God damn. Okay. Bubbles are good. Alright, I think it's getting close to ending this stream because not much is happening at the moment. We got a little bar come through. Little bar come through. Maybe it's being divided up. Oh, we got some cells. Okay. People want to take some profits off. Okay, okay, fair enough. What time is it? So depending on people's sleep patterns. Other people are waking up. Or they've done it before they go to bed. One of the two. Or anywhere in between, because you know, we kind of live in a sphere. Infinite timeline. Never ends. When does time end? You know? I don't know. When did time begin? I don't know. But apparently, anyway, different topic. INC though, that's a pretty decent buy there. None of that's going to really offset, even if they try. Whoever they are. But yeah, this is just fascinating. We're all getting completely spoiled right now. We're just seeing like mad gains, mad growth, and I should be more happy. But yeah, this is just me. We got some Command and Conquer in the background. What else? Because I've been watching it, it just doesn't seem like it's growing as fast. Yeah, man, blood on my head, yeah. Tell me about it, Tin Top. I hope people did, because like I did a tiny little ladder, but like I said, I'm gonna regret buying this goddamn shotgun for like two something. I could have bought so much HEX, and literally so far, if I just sat on it, it would have gone up like 3, close to 4 times. But yeah, if you build a staking ladder, there is a good chance you won't miss anything. I mean, kind of the point of the staking ladder, people, in my opinion, because you have even. It's hard though, because you might end your ladder at the beginning of the year, and then the bull run kicks off at the end of the year, and you got to decide, do I do another year and then miss out on that period, or you might not quite catch the top and then see, you know, like a triangle, trying to catch the top of the triangle, and you might not. And if you leave it too long, you might get the other side of the triangle. So that would suck. But if you have enough ladders, well, it's a better chance than just one big giant one, although over time, you know, up and to the right. Ah, good morning, Tin Top. Yeah, because I'm in, it's like late-ish, like 10 o'clock around here. So maybe it's late, but I've noticed a lot of people, they tend to like normal 9 to 5s. It's just, I'm always like super bored, and I think it's because I work, but I don't have like a time frame to stick to. And then because I have no time frame to stick to, I'm just constantly doing whatever the fuck I want, and it's kind of bad because I'm like, why isn't everyone else just doing whatever they want whenever they want? It's like, oh wait, they gotta work 9 to 5, or say they've got shift work and they're just working. The only time they got left is to sleep, eat, and like fuck, I don't know, like. But maybe not even that, because everyone's that exhausted from working 9 to 5, and it just kind of sucks. And I'm like, why can't people just be having more fun all the time, be free all the time? Imagine, I don't know. It's probably not the best. Like, just encourage everyone to do nothing ever, and just like get mad rich or rich-ish, and then just sort of not be productive, because there's some positives. Some positives in you know, being like getting a triple high paying salary or whatever, but if it's at the expense of your life, because I think if you look at it, I think somewhere it's like when you're 30 or 20, I think it said when you're 30, I can't remember. It said you've only got something like 20,000 days left. Like, what do you mean 20? That's not much. But that's what's happening, and it's like, you're gonna do this, whatever you're doing, 9 to 5, whatever, even in your high paying job for the rest of it. And by the time you get out of it, you'll have some decent coin, yeah, but then you'll be all. But imagine you wouldn't feel as energetic, because already I'm feeling like wrecked. It's only been like 3 years since I first started streaming about this crypto stuff. And the difference between all-time highs and not all-time highs is like being chalk and cheese, you know. And the idea that new all-time highs are coming it's fucking very exciting. I don't know if will I keep streaming. I probably would occasionally, just to check in, but if you're in some paradise somewhere, maybe you wouldn't. I don't know, maybe you would, but you've only got so many times left, so many days left on this planet, and yeah, there's got to be a better way. And if we happen to find it through something like, you know, cryptocurrency of your choice, or specifically I think HEX, now HEX on Pulse Chain, and the entire suite of fucking candies, PulseX, INC, and HEX, maybe there'll be some freedom out there. But you know, taxation is the price we pay for civilized society. So all the wars, all the shit used to surveil you You paid for. Not you specifically, Tin Top, but you know what I'm saying. It's insane, right? When you look at it like that. Now, what do we got? What else we got on the old X? Before you speak, let your words pass through gates. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? The Buddha. Well, that would be the end of all my streams, because is it necessary would be the first thing that comes to my mind. Maybe there's just no more people left selling, you know? We got some buyers coming out. Whole lot of green from nowhere. Trying to recapture that little red candle. Imagine trading options on this shit. This would be crazy. Capturing at the bottom, just he's getting wiped out, most likely. Absolutely wrecked. If you're like, oh, it's gonna keep going to nothing, and keep buying it all up. Like, oh shit. I see. What? It's like filling up my feed with this. HEX.com people. What do you do? Is that good for your face? That's what I need to do. Face is getting like mad swollen lately. Well, that's interesting. Look at that shit. Looks like one of those dogs. The fucking folds of skin and shit. What the fuck? Oh. Maybe we get bored and do that. People come and go. That's life, people. When everything is green and pumping, that's not someone's tax man. Yeah, true. I mean, it's in my preparation, in the back of my mind. But if you start ripping out like millions and millions and millions and millions, you'll be like, I could just see the whatever you're using. You could be like, what the fuck is this? This is crazy, right? That's why I'm thinking, if that happened, I wouldn't just be market dumping, or like maybe use a loan thing or whatever. Maybe. I'd be thinking about farms, more stakes, keeping track of your like losses and gains and shit from like previous years, and then just figuring out a way, to the best of my knowledge, legally and lawfully, to peacefully and politically, to then create an income similar to a very low income, you know, doing gig economy work, and then maybe take some chunks, pay some bad debts off, and then basically once you're debt free, if you're working, it's like all the work you do would just be for buying whatever you want, doing whatever you want, and then if you enjoy your job, lots of free time, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Be humble and never think you are better than anyone else. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. Oof, you know, you're 20, 30, whatever it is, you only got 20,000 days left. How many of these days will you actually be enjoying your life? Oh yeah, you guys saw that. Rolls in with a fucking packing from the feet. Bad days pray, good days pray, every day pray. Don't be too long, we never long. Emotional mastery. If you're rejected, accept it. If you're unloved, let it go. If they choose someone or something over you, move on. Don't beg anyone to say. Let them run. Hex at $1. Dude, that might not be a bad idea. Hex at $1. Fucking Hex at $1, man. I was gonna make a video just like Hex at $1. Not this lady. Here's the question though, would you date or fuck? Here's the question. Hex at $1 on 2 chains with Hedron and Com and Arcosa. And some farms earning INC with pulse chain, with I keep forgetting, with pulse chain pumping, with pulse X pumping, and INC pumping. What more could anyone possibly want? I mean, well, financially speaking. How is this appearing in my feed? May you attract someone who makes promises and keeps them. I wonder how long until people jump on the pulse chain wagon and they're like, oh, check it out, pulse chain. What happened to my feed, man? As soon as I go on my feed live, it just changes. T-Bird. Let's wait for the dip. It's like, I'll just wait for the dip on this one. It's not to say it couldn't happen, but I like my analogy. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Like I said, look out for this trend. This trend's just fucking savage. This reminds me of the old HEX trend. Look at that one. Just like perfect. Almost perfect. It's like, I don't even know what that is. I've seen it many times. It's just, it's very cool to see. With this one, I have no idea what this one's about. The end of the bear market, maybe. Alright, this will be over soon. What happened to the audio? Fuck. We're back at 150, 0.0155 people. Cool. Yeah, no, there we go. Cool, got it. It's just fucking savage. What if this thing just keeps going? What do we do, Tintop? $1 hex. Oh my god. But $1 hex and then you have a decent sized stake come out. Oh, it's gonna be so fucking glorious. Red Squirrel, what's happening, man? What are we gonna do, Red Squirrel? $1 hex. and you have a decent stake come out on that day, you'd be like, what the fuck do you do? It's gonna be a bad problem to have, clearly, because $1 hex. I mean, not even thinking about INC. I just keep forgetting $1 hex might mean Pulse and Pulse Hex might be doing okay at that point in time. Just maybe, just maybe. And then if you have a lot of Pulse Hex, maybe you're getting some decent return on the yield on your farms, assuming you've got any farms. I don't know. Oof. This time though, this time I'm ready. Oh yeah. It's gonna be savage. I can just see it. I can see it like $3.33 hex. This like bull run. Anything higher than that hurts my mind, because I want to say like shh, no. Don't. Maybe not the rehab. Oh. The other wife changing fucking. Oh. What's those religions and you have like multiple wives or something? I think maybe people will convert to that. Make it the norm. If it's like, you know, appreciated across everyone, everyone's happy and everything. This is just savage. And like in my opinion, it's by no means massive buys. It's just a slow, steady trickle. It's like hiking, you know, you're not running up the hill. I mean, some people can, but you're just sort of like a slow hike. It's like, well, okay. The slow hike's been like, what, 20% a day, last however many days. How long can this be sustained? Definitely. Maybe. I don't know. It's just interesting with those stable, the update for 6, whatever it was, the pools, it's like triple stables. Just, like I said in the other stream, you're getting a seriously difficult. You wouldn't have to. I don't think you would have to, because this is the thing. Although it sucks, like it sucks so bad. I was looking at it, I'm thinking, if you take a figure, any figure, a large figure, here in Australia, right? And say you take it out, and then, again, this is not advice, it's just general thoughts. Look it all up, do it yourself, not a, like, whatever. Disclaimers everywhere. But then, you take out, say, 1 million. And then, okay, 1 million gains, assuming you have no other gains. It's like you got $1 million. First, you're going to get your banks, or wherever you're keeping your money, the ATMs and shit. They're going to be like, oh, okay, so you got $1 million from nowhere, cool. They're like, they might flag your account, especially if you're trying to go through a centralized exchange of some sort, trying to get your money, you know, not frozen. Like, you've done this everything correct, and still I could imagine it being an issue, some sort of an issue. And then, so that's like one hurdle. Actually getting the money is like, you'll all be on chains, you'll be tracking it. Income tax time, you have to explain it. Potentially if it's like big ass numbers. But then, other than that, you would then have, what would you have? Getting it into your bank account, physically having it in there. It almost, to me, it feels, it would be less of a head fuck, and that's like a technical term, head fuck. Less of a head fuck to convert it over and say you have a large amount in stable. Instead of taking it out, ripping it all out, putting it into your bank account, you know, maybe go the DeFi route and maybe use some DeFi systems, platforms, I don't know, maybe some stable fucking pools. And although it could dilute the fucking pool, it could dilute the pool a little bit, but you would look for somewhere to place your stables. And you just sit it there and then you get your, I call them cookies because they're like a stable pool paying out stables. And then take your cookies, and then that's, I'm assuming that's income, depending on where you're at, I don't know. Again, none of this is advice, but thinking about it logically. And then that would be like your forever income, you're just like getting free cookies. And then you could change the cookies and buy some thing that could get you T-shares, or buy something else that could make some pools, stable pools. So not stable pools, you know, make some small businesses and get some more INC, and then have that as income. And then it's, although say it was like $1 million, you haven't got your $1 million in cash, like just sitting next to you somewhere, piled up, or $1 million worth of gold bars. But you've got it in DeFi, and you'd have the ability to at will pull it out the amounts that you need. Like, how much would you need? Especially if you were able to take out some reasonable sized chunks. Maybe like, what, 10, 20,000 or something, depending on how big your credit cards are. I don't know. And then, like, how much do you need? You know, it's like, I'm thinking, that's the sort of approach I'm thinking. But then if it gets real large, like just insanely scary large, I have no idea. Well, this is hard, burn. Burn t-shirts, I don't know. I don't have to deal with this shit. It'd be crazy. You know, honestly, and that's what was scaring me the first time around. I'm like seeing this number go up all the time. I'm like, dude, what the fuck do I do? Like, and then, yeah, but this time I think all-time highs. I'm mentally prepared. I can, like, the universe is like, I'm conjuring it in the universe. I'm going to see these figures and I'm going to just have to deal with it this time. And instead of worrying about all the tax I'm going to pay, I might have to pay and all this shit. Like, no, I have, I'm prepared. I can think of ways to do this in an intelligent way. Well, I think it's intelligent anyway. Maybe some people market dump and then just wreck themselves and then go off on a private yacht and run from the tax man forever. But I don't know if that's the best lifestyle. It just depends. Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the way this has been not structured, but you know, I'm calling this the candy shop, and then you can make your own business if you want. Like, I call the farms like a little business almost, and you can make your own returns from INC, which to me I call it income token. And then if you have enough, you get to the point where it's like, do I even want to press this button? Because if I have to press this button, this is like income. I don't want this income. I mean, most people aren't like that, but from some perspectives, you might be thinking like that. Going, this is fucking too much. Oh my god! Like, it's just have this big giant figure. It's like you can never press it because if you press it, it's just like too much tax. Have like the opposite of the US GDP, whatever the debt figure is. It's like, imagine the opposite of that in green. And if you press that button to get that money, you have to then pay tax on that. You're like, what the fuck? That would be a very interesting conundrum. It's like, if I press this button, I have all this money. It's like, I can never fucking use it though. But yeah, to me, that's what I'm thinking. I still reckon I would get some fiat out, but it would be like percent wise relative to the overall, your portfolio would be minuscule, I would say. Especially if you're thinking like a dollar hex across multiple chains, you're going to be like, which hex should I sell? Should I swap for Pulse first, you know? I keep forgetting about Pulse and Pulse X, what they'll be doing as well. Oh my god. And the farms, oh my god. And the INC, oh my god. All I want is enough to get a small wage every day, and I'll be quite happy with that. Just a little bit more than now, just a little bit more than now. And then if I continue to work, maybe have a different car, probably just lease it or something. And then that will be purely for fun, to give me something to do during the day, meet some new people, and I'll have a lot of spare time because, yeah, crazy shit. 99.3 down. I know, but if you were staking, locking away, and getting more hex, you've been accumulating slowly, and then if it does ever get to all-time high or surpass all-time high, and you happen to have some ladders in the right dates, you know, whatever they might be, you might be looking okay. It'll be the recovery comeback of us, like it'll be like a movie script. And we'll all become icons in the cryptosphere, like literally. They'll be like, oh, they're those hex dudes that we all laughed at, or they got mad rich, and then some got mad rich, some didn't, and they all stuck around, and then they all got mad rich, and then they didn't, and then they all got mad rich again, and then and the next thing they're like, oh, look, this is the new money now. And what they do? Oh, they just listened and like maybe they passed an IQ test or something, and were able to not sell, you know, and have some delayed gratification. looked at, like understood maybe some what T-shares might have the potential to do in a system like HEX. Amazing. Yeah, no, there's stuff like that. That'd be pretty cool. Going to like if your country, I don't know, if you had a country and it's like encouraging crypto tax incentives, it's like, you know, we're not gonna charge you on tax through crypto gains or whatever. People would like love that shit. You just go there, we like go there for that benefit, I would say, and then do that, and then make sure you qualify or whatever. Um, and then take your money out and be like, yeah, party time. Then I bet you have to bring the money back to where you want to spend it, and there might be issues. I don't know. Again, you can tell. Don't listen to me about that because I'm not in that position. Find proper people, and they'll be able to help you out. I would imagine. Seek independent financial advice or whatever, legal advice or whatever, or have a goal in mind. Like I have my own personal goal. I don't think it's too extravagant, and I think I would be able to achieve basically what a really high performance job would pay out. But if I can achieve that and have both my time and the money, I would be extremely happy with that. You know, maybe if even if it's not as much as the highest paying jobs, I would be more than happy to get that sort of salary. I don't know if you call it salary or whatever it is, that amount of freedom. Because think about it, after people have these big ass mortgages and, you know, multiple investment properties, yeah, they're doing good, but then at the end of the week, end of the month, end of the year, the actual amount of money they have is not as much as they've earned. I think there was an article, some dude at like 100K doing gig economy work, but at the end of it, he had about 10, 20 grand actually like in profit. So imagine if you were able to get 100 grand a year and it's just all profit, you'd be pretty happy, as well as doing your other whatever else, getting another 100 grand. You'd be kind of happy, I would say. But again, you'd have to take into a lot of consideration your jurisdiction, your tax laws, and shit like that. Maybe get some specialists and they'll help you out. You know, who knows? Because who knows how high this fucking thing will go? I don't know. I'm not saying this run, but it's looking good. Oh my god. Just the slow trickle effect. Eh? Now what else we got? We got 11% on a few million. Yeah, that it doesn't sound that much. And then the problem would be maybe when you get that million, maybe you could trigger some events, which will cause some issues, but relative to what would it look like? What would it look like on chain? Might not be. No, it would be okay. Um, Maybe it would trigger something when you sell, maybe, but depending on the cost base. And then once you get it into the pool, okay, yeah, most likely income, I would say. Getting like income from a few million, that would be more than enough. I'd be happy with that. But yeah. Orion, what's happening? 99.3% down. What's this? Comment, no comment personally on whatever that is. Something about something. Wins, losses, whatever. Well, yes, okay. Fair enough. I wouldn't be like, how would I word this? I'm not paying attention to anything right now, like no news. Like Twitter is my primary source, or X, sorry, is my primary source of anything outside of the um, actual that's a painting. Okay. Actual rules for what am I talking about? Yeah, I've turned off everything. If I know people in real life, then it's kind of cool. Then I'll talk to them and stuff like that. I think it's kind of cool having a network of people, Mexicans. personally, I think it's kind of cool. If you ever need to reach out, you probably could. Some you might trust more than others, I don't know. But given that there is a lot of us all around the world, it's kind of cool. But yeah, and if price does go up and goes insane, I won't really care either way. I mean, it would be cool if price was to go insanely high, and prior to whatever appearance in whatever country, and then it would free up people to be able to attend. I don't know. That would be very cool. But then, is that something you want to do? You'd have to ask yourself that. But in terms of price goes up, I am extremely happy because that makes my life better. And it doesn't just make my life better if price goes up. I think it helps other people who may also be holding this token. It helps them, right? It's just a shame that more people weren't able to hear about this thing, because had they been able to hear about it, even like during the phase when it was just pre-viral, it's still pre-viral, near those all-time highs. More people were able to hear about it. Maybe it could help even more people. Maybe more people would have got upset because, you know, they didn't lock in their profits or whatever. But then all through this like brutal bear market, people were just not talking about it. It's like, well, I was still plodding along and buying, and you know, it's turning around a little bit. So hopefully, people did have their HEX and they did have their T-shares, and they're getting more of it. And eventually, if and when a recovery does take place, it can help them. You know, yeah, because I think there's a lot of people in some very bad positions. It's just not good. You know? Like financially, you know, it's a shame because I don't think the whole world's designed like revolves around money. So if you haven't got it, it sucks. If you've got some, you know, why not help others? And if the price goes up, like I said, if the price goes up and you happen to be holding this thing, it should help anyone. You know, the rising tide lifts all ships. Yeah. Have a look at Bitcoin. If you held Bitcoin from the inception to now, you'd be doing okay. And maybe you gotta help others. I don't know. You gotta help yourself first. So that's the thing. I like these little threads. Never shake hands with anyone without standing up. In negotiation, never make first offer. If they trust you a secret, keep it. Do things with passion or don't do it at all. And my like streams like live the experience of traveling alone. Bro, that's pretty decent, you know. Write your goals and work on them. Yeah, I probably should do that. I actually have a sheet somewhere. I'm gonna find it. Defend your point of view, but be tolerant and respectful to others. Never regret anything. Learn from everything. That is a good one. What else we got? Honor and loyalty must be present in your personality. I agree. Don't lend money to someone you know won't pay you back. Ooh. I don't think I've ever lent money. Discover your skills and exploit them. Ooh. Love your job or leave it. 100%. I agree with that. Ask for help when you need it. Be kind to your neighbors. That's so true. Make someone's day happier or make you happier too. That's so true. Compete with yourself. Take care of your health. Always greet with a smile. Think fast but speak slow. I think I just think slow and speak slow. Don't put your opinions on issues you don't know. Oh my god, that's like all of the internet, isn't it? Never mistreat anyone. I wish. Live your life as if it were the last day of it. Oh, bro. That would be interesting. See, if you live your life as if it were the last day of it, you'd much rather, in my opinion, live it as a very wealthy person than someone with no money, because there would be two different types of things. You could probably do a little bit more if you have more money, I would say, personally. Recognize someone for their effort. Never forget your roots. Just dance in the rain. Dance in the rain. Recognize someone for their effort. Please, someone recognize me for my effort. Dance in the rain. I've never done that. Seek your success without giving up. Oh, I will. I never give up. Be fair, stand up to those who need you. Well, I don't know if you Hexagons need me, but I think Hexagons should stand together. Learn to enjoy moments of loneliness. Ah, yes, loneliness. I used to stream with no. I used to stream not live. Literally used to just turn on a camera and speak to the camera, and there'll be no one watching me, and I'll be talking as if people watch me because I'll play it back on YouTube. But yeah, it used to get like 1 or 2 views, but I just loved it. I don't know why. It's like an expression of my thoughts, deep in my thoughts. Until the bastards at YouTube took away that channel for no reason. Well, anyway. See, I don't mind these threads. Breaking out. We breaking out? Let's have a look. What's breaking out? What do we miss? Oh, we're still not at the 5.5 it was a little bit before. It's only 63% up, only 271% up. Only 75%. No biggie, no biggie. That's a good one. Replacing. The only people not getting rich on HEX right now are those that can't believe in the parabola. Parabola? The hockey stick. The banana. The exponential organic growth. Bitcoin is getting 300% in 20 days. It just happened. Okay, so what did we just have on Go Pulse? We had, in 30 days, we had 271%. Okay. Heavenly Rain Creed. Interesting name. Very cool. What if we all win Hexkins? What if so many people join us that we are all able to take some profits like they do some Well, amicable. There lies the problem. If someone comes in, destroys, and takes everything off the table, that could happen. Greed generally takes most people over, and you see big giant green profits. Some people just are able to pull the trigger more readily than others. Myself, back when there was all-time highs to speak of to look at, I was literally going, I had my finger on the trigger over the target going, should I pull it, should I pull it, should I pull it, should have. I did not though. And now then I see people with cool stuff and I'm going, oh, we should add cool stuff. So maybe it's a lesson for us all. Maybe just take some, just some. Just take some, be happy with life. Do you need to take it all? I don't know. If you take it all, just don't be upset when the price gets destroyed. Because, you did it to yourself. It's a shame. I've been here since the 99, was it 99.3 down? Yeah. And it's like, I'm celebrating a little 300% over 30 days, which is very cool. I'm going to take that away, and I'm hoping it continues. And we've just hit the 0.000055. Very good. Back at 0.0155 and back at 2.77. So the war rages on in Hexaco. This is fucking interesting, people. I don't know if you guys are looking at this, but I mean, clearly everyone's looking at this. I don't know if people are looking at this outside of the echo chamber. They're one. That's 0.01555. Nice. But it's going to be very interesting. Where will it stop? That's what I'm wondering. Where is this going to taper off? And is it going to stop? What if it's just infinite up and to the right in a slow, steady manner? And to that tweet though, if you have a state coming out, unless it's fucking giant, and if you don't know how to create farms or use different protocols, or like a stable pool or something like that, then maybe it's better you just take your huge gains and destroy the price, and then just it can recover. I'm pretty sure it can recover, although it's still not back to its all-time high. So technically it hasn't recovered thus far, but maybe, just maybe, people will take a fucking leadership role, and the people with not leadership, I don't know what you'd call it. You don't want to be like the target if things go wrong. It's like, this motherfucker told me this. This person said that you're this, or this person said, XYZ, or whatever. And then it goes down 99.3%. And he's like, well, you couldn't have predicted that. And yeah. See, become a ghost, forget attention, just grow in private. This is ideally maybe the moral of the stream, because I don't think people want to. I could be wrong though. Write your own story like this. Happiness is not about getting all you want; it's about enjoying all you have. So that's pretty on point. You can't enjoy what you have, and something else comes along and destroys it. It's just a different type of pain, different type of pain. Everyone leaves, learn how to survive alone. The less you care, the happier you be. No shit. I agree. Your best teacher is your last mistake. Very true. In moving silence, only speak when it's time to say checkmate. Well, it's not quite checkmate yet, but I'm kind of fascinated as to what is going on here. Because, like I said, 30 days from now? What are we looking at? 30 days from now. We get SAC again for Pulse, and then back at like 2-3 cents for HEX, plus like pushing on 3, and then INC, I have no idea. Pulse X, I have no idea. Maybe that sort of fuses a bit longer because once you see the amount burnt, that's fast. Is that 4.98% burnt? That's fascinating, yeah. But my mind is stupid on Pulse X. Like, so if can 100% ever be burnt? And if so, does that mean my tokens in my wallet can be burnt, or a wallet? That can't be right. Maybe it's like theoretically impossible or something, or like there's just that much of it. Then you know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't know. Does it seem right? If is there a max supply that can be burnt? So only things that can't be burnt would be. Anyway, that's just my understanding. What do we got? Look at this shape of this graph. So imagine, like I said, this is instead of that's just the beginning of this. Not to try and, suggest anything, hypnotically suggest anything, but like that or that before the slow increases. Imagine if that is, like I said before, what if this is just one tiny little increment and then vertically upright? But I don't know if that'll happen. Someone had a cell in there. So a couple cells, okay, a couple cells. What they got? That's a decent fucking profit. 124k profit. And then not different. So not here, yeah. 132. Fucking Jesus. Excuse my language. Bought 0, sold. They're probably just transferring like to a wallet that's never bought anything and then dumping it through there, I would say. Which is fine, whatever. 7k. It's not bad. They'll pay off some debt, You just hope they haven't got too much debt, Because how long can that sustain, you know? Wonder. But some people would have a lot of HEX. Some people have a lot of pulse too. Yeah. Thank you, Red Squirrel, because yeah, in my mind, I'm like, going, hang on. Like, I don't want my shit being as the price of pulse goes up, less will get burnt and blocked. Ah, okay, pools. And you, so, okay. So if it's not in a pool, it can't be touched. But if it's in a pool, it can be touched. Is that correct? Anyway, that doesn't really matter. Like, someone's probably explained this before, but that's good to know. I was like, doesn't that mean if 100% gets burned, no one's got any? And then like, or like 99% is burned, and like fraction of a pulse X becomes like insanely valuable. I was like, wait, what? But if it's relative to tokens in the pool, then that makes sense, I guess, because as there's less, it becomes more scarce. Price should go up based on what is in the pools, I'm guessing. And then if every single token was in theory put into PulseX, so when PulseX was, I guess, airdropped, it would make sense if you held PulseX. I'm not telling people what to do with their PulseX, but it would make sense then if you were at minimum had it, I guess, in a pool, and then relative to the entire pool, you would be contributing to it getting burnt as the trades take place. I think that's how I'm understanding it, as a little bit's being burnt per trade. If you go and look on the chain, go look at the web page, it explains it, because I can't. Yeah. That's probably the best way to explain it. That's what I'm thinking. And so if that was to take place, then that's how more of it would be burnt. Because if you had like, imagine if you had like 90% of this pulse X just sitting like in a wallet somewhere doing nothing, that wouldn't be then being burnt. That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, what would you do then? Because then that would make sense. Maybe that's why the single-sided staking never came out, because maybe it couldn't touch on the burn. Because yeah, on V2 it's supposed to buy all the supply. Price would go. Yeah, I don't know. And this is what I'm saying. I don't understand enough about this stuff. And I'm like thinking, well, maybe there's some things when people are missing, and this is the candy shop. We're gonna see some interest. It's the candy factory, and we're gonna see some cool candies being pumped out, because yeah, this nice, slow, steady growth that I was hearing about. I'm watching. I'm going, this looks interesting. How long will it go on for? So the effect long term is price go up. Very nice. And then I heard somewhere also, again, PulseX, if price is lower, something about it more getting burnt. So maybe that's good. I don't know. But yeah, it's everything's looking nice at the moment. On V2, it's impossible to buy all the supply. Possible to buy all the supply. Price will go insane. V2, buy all the supply. What happens after if you were able to buy all the supply? So there was like, you know how they say there's the wall or whatever, and there's liquidity. So say there's like 2 million, like just say there's 10 PulseX in the entire fucking V2 pool, and then someone buys 10 of them. Does that just make the price go insane? Because you bought it all, you bought all 10 of them. There's nothing else to buy, and then what? That just shifts the fucking, like, moves the price bar across, I guess, to a higher price. Because then the next person to come along, they'll be like, the fuck, it's all been bought. And then what? Yeah, price is low, the fees can buy more. Price is low, fees can buy more. Okay, good. So it's like it's good. It's funny then, because that means this long brutal bear market's actually been burning more. So in the long run, like I was making the analogy with the not the slow burn or the long fuse, but you know, when you take off quicker from the lights, you end up traveling at the same. Even if as long as you're traveling at the same speed as the other car, you're, you know, in front of that other car. So maybe when price was like lower, it was giving that sort of boost to the Pulse X price, which people may not realize at first, but then later on down the road, so they've traveled a little bit further, they go, oh, hang on, why is the price doing so well? It's like, oh, because more was burnt in the initial phase. Maybe, I don't know. Interesting. I want to see how that works, man. So if someone could buy all the everything, just buy it all up, then what? What is the next purchase coming after that? Because that would be like if like on a, if you ever buy or sell shares or anything similar to shares, there's like a buy sell order book, and you can put in your own price, and if someone is willing to sell it to you at that price, it's hit. It's the pricing mechanism, I guess, in the simplest terms. And then it's like, well, if you had enough money, you could come in and everything for sale, you could buy it all up, and most likely, assuming, you would then push the price up. And if you push the price up at that point in time when there's nothing left to sell, then the price would be that. So I guess it would act in the same way on V2, that if you bought up all the fucking supply, it would push the price up and the price would be insane. Then the next person coming in, assuming you don't have all of the supply of the particular tokens, someone else would then come in. Because it doesn't move, does it? Because then if you're providing LP, you'd just be not at price, but then all your shit would be in, say it's paired to a stable, it would all be in the stable, and there'll be nothing else left to sell. And so then someone else would have to come in. I'm not sure what that would do to fucking LP providing. Someone else would have to come in with more of the token that is trying to be sold, and then you would then drop it in, and then I guess that would be the starting price then. And if more people buy it, it would drive the price up even harder. I'm thinking, which is unusual, you know. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that would look. Hopefully that made sense. But I guess that would to me, in my mind, that's how it would have to work, unless there's something to do with I don't know, how the dexes trade between each other, because I guess they do have the ability to, like, not cross trade, but if there's all the stable pools and it's like able to, if you're like trading, say, a stable, then man, I don't want to learn stuff. It's too hard. It's too hard, man. But you're right. I'm pretty sure there's mad videos on like LP providing with crypto stuff. So if anyone wants to know, go look at that. Don't listen to me. So I'm just like making shit up here. How it works. But yeah, all right. I think we'll end this one very soon because there's not crazy amounts of movement. I do want to see. I would love to see a test net where like you have all the supply of a token and create a test net and then play out that scenario where all of the tokens are bought off of all of the LP. Then what happens? Is that like the black hole of crypto? Like, Okay, ask him this if you get a chance. Say what happens if all of the supply of a token, but yeah, if all of the supply of a token, if that's even possible, is put into an LP, right? And then how would that work out? And then someone with a lot of stable comes in and buys up all of the supply. Assuming you've got 10 stables and 10 other token, and someone has 20, well, they have 100 stable. What would happen if someone comes in and buys up all of that token? It just pushes the price up to maximum price. Is that maximum price? Because then you would then have to someone else. Oh, infinity. Okay. So if we go to infinity, then that's what I was saying. That was the next move. If someone then buys up all of the token, even though it can push it up to infinity, they would then have to provide that token into the V2 themselves, and then that would stack on top. And then someone else would come in, not them, because I think you buy your own tokens. With someone else, imagine if they also had 100 stable, and they were then able to buy all of the 10 token, that would just push it up higher, I'd imagine. But that would then leave the person with the initial LP, that would leave them with 100% stable and none of the other tokens. So when they pull that out, they're having that token. So tokens exchange from the pool, the person's put the pool in, another person's come in, bought it from them, etc., etc. So that's how it would go to infinity, I would imagine. Infinity. So my prediction for the price of HEX is now infinity. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Yeah, but then anyway. Well, I just got a quick schooling by Red Squirrel in the LP and how to break it. Not how to break it, but how to like. Yeah, interesting. All right, if this gets to all right, see, it just keeps ticking over slowly. Like it's very fucking interesting. 0.0156, 0.000551. Now, are we going to get to what's the next 16 or sorry 0.016? Interesting. I don't know. I mean that's after a sell, and then what the fuck? Unrealized profit though. Another buy comes through. So it could all be just one massive buy that's been like routed through like a few different places. But yeah, usually, and that's a pretty decent buy relative to what else is going on. Oh my god. But yeah, but you know what I mean. Like looking at how all of this plays out. Usually, it's like if everything's done for profit, and you could argue people are evil or whatever, just money oriented, trying to mess with the little guy. In a system like I said, explained with the shares or whatever. Like most of the time, unless you're like have all the money in the world, you're probably going to be outgunned by resources. But then I guess in crypto, maybe it's kind of like the equalizer, whereby people early in say Bitcoin have all the Bitcoin, and then the people who have all the money in the world, problem is they have to buy the Bitcoin from somewhere, and they have to buy it. And like you'd think, I would have thought that this is a different discussion completely, but relative to the LP discussion about V2, if you think about all the Bitcoin in the entire world, and who owns it, and I guess who's trying to get control of it, it would make sense that people are trying to, they figured out it's worth something. It's relatively expensive right now. And this is why all the talk of like, insane numbers for Bitcoin, because people are going to be like realizing that if people with lots of money, all the money in the world, dirty fiat, if they want to come in and play with Bitcoin, they have to then buy it. And then what does that do? It drives the price to infinity. Well, I think the national debt is basically infinity, because you see it, it's just doesn't make sense for US to have that much debt. But then you have to look at their books. It's like, well, the debt means they're producing more money. And so it's like a black hole. It's like, what's at the other side of the black hole? We're seeing, money being used to buy more of this Bitcoin, driving the price up. Interesting. And again, you could change that and then look at it and apply for things like HEX, like Pulse Chain, like Pulse X, and INC even, the Hedrons, Cosas, Com as well. It'd be the same battle, I would say. People trying to get maximum profit. And then it's like multi-level facets of war, because it's not just about who is controlling, like who has all the money. It's not about that, because that's like an external factor you don't know. Because someone could be super rich, someone could be super poor, like with money outside trying to come in. But I guess it becomes like a collectible thing where, if a certain type of car, vintage car, is rare, only so many people have it, it becomes extremely valuable. And so I guess this is more obvious for HEX holders, because they understand maybe how when it's burned and destroyed, the T-share functions work. There's only so much of it. It becomes scarce, similar to Bitcoin and the mining rate, and it becomes more scarce and harder to get over time. Theory, like Pulse X's burn function, it should encourage price to go up and to the right, I'm assuming. And then basically it becomes a battle, if you're into that aspect of whatever. That becomes a battle for control over something like Pulse X, or HEX, or Pulse X, or INC. It's like someone who wants to have a majority share, and not to be able to control the price so much, but just to be able to have that, like a large shareholder has the majority voting power, so they can steer the company in an XYZ direction. But if someone holds all the cryptocurrency, then they could potentially drive it into the ground, or they could potentially send it into the fucking moon, into infinity, which is impossible technically. Cool. So this is why I do these streams. I like to just think things out through, and then I'm like, okay, interesting. That's very cool. That's very intriguing about INC, because then the only way to get INC, I think it's been explained before, is through creating a farm. And the only way INC is dispersed, I guess you could say, or farmed, is through providing liquidity into a particular DEX. And providing liquidity into particular DEX allows you to receive INC. And then hence, fourth, there would be a battle for INC, and who can control and have the most INC. So while people were possibly chasing everything under the sun that wasn't Pulse X, Pulse, whatever the pools are that provide INC token, while people were out chasing that stuff, they might have been sort of being distracted by shiny object syndrome, I guess people have called it, and not focusing on maybe obtaining INC. And then, like I said, with now the stable pools have come out, you would then have the ability to bring in large, like huge amounts of money relative to what you might have done before, purely for the fact of speculation that the chain doesn't die, or that something goes wrong with the pools. But then you'd be able to drop in large amounts of stables, get more free stables, I call them cookies, and then swap the cookies for some of the candy if you wanted to, or you could just rip it out of the system. If you're ripping out of the system, I guess you're bridging out, or you're selling, and then you're eating into the stable pools. It wouldn't affect too bad. It might affect if it's drawing from tapping into things like other pools that weren't there before. So for instance, you have all the like Pulse and stable and pulse X and stable, and hex and stable. I think it's hex. I can't remember if it's hex and stable. Whatever it is, and then even INC and stable. I'm not sure if there's one of them. But now you've got the stable pools across 3 stables, and then you would be able to, I would imagine, primarily pull from there, because then that would affect things a lot less, make things more efficient, and be better for trading, like in terms of not being a trader, like a small trader in a large system, but make the system operate more efficiently and then get more returns, because it's more efficient, and plus the fees are super low. I could be getting some of that wrong, but that's just my understanding as it currently stands, with no Command and Conquer music in the background. So yeah, I'm glad I recorded this, because I have no idea what I just said. I have to go back and just double check, but I think that makes sense. Basically, in summary of all that, I think just on the brief amount of time I covered that, I think the stable pools are very positive across the 3 stables, and it would make sense to almost, if you were to inject new capital, I would almost be going for the stables first. That would be a hard one. So if you put your stables in, it's relatively safe. You get your free cookies and you do whatever you want with them. Pulling it out of the system may not have much of a negative effect, because you've got the stables already there, unless like you're the whole provider. But then if you wanted to benefit the system as a whole, you could then use more stables to buy. Because I remember the term being explained that if you were to sell something like HEX, for example, into a stable, it might negatively affect the price of HEX, whereas if you sell it into something like Pulse or a different token, maybe Pulse X, INC, etc., maybe it won't hurt the price as much. So then, if you've got the stable pools, you're drawing the stables, affecting the stable pools only. But if you're entering in, you might be able to then use stables to purchase Pulse X, INC, HEX, whatever candy you're looking at, and then that would probably affect the price in a more positive way. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure how everything gets like routed through these dexes, but personally, my favorite dex is Pulse X, because I haven't used any of the other ones that I can remember. And so I can't help but feel while people were, but to be fair, I've only seen the triple-sided stable pools on other platforms, so maybe that was like a testing ground, and then because it was a testing ground, you could see how it worked. So that's kind of that's a positive, I would say. But and then maybe it's sort of like the cream of the crops getting through the Pulse X being more profitable for everybody. So maybe there is a place for the other decentralized exchanges, etc., especially if other larger ones come out and sort of just add bolt-on Pulse chain to them. I think Cowswap or something, when they just add Pulse chain to it. Maybe they have, I haven't looked, but that would definitely get some more eyes on it and be interesting to see how that routes. But thus far, Pulse X with the stability pools, stable pools, very positive, very positive. Now, could be some things I'm missing, but to me, that could explain as to why this steady, slow growth. Maybe there's cookies being swapped for candy, and as a result, it's almost like the infinite glitch. Because imagine getting 10% off of millions, and then using that cookie to deploy to something like HEX, for instance, or INC, even Pulse Chain or Pulse X, whatever you see fit, as a benefit to the whole candy shop, might bring about this slow incremental increase. Excuse me, especially if you have large triple, like big numbers in stables. Very interesting. Very interesting. Alright. I shall close it out on that because I think therefore I am. No, you know, I think that was somewhat valuable. Let me know if that's wrong, chat. I don't know, but that's just something I'm thinking of. Expensive hex everywhere. Yes, I agree. How do you make expensive? It has to be rare. And how does it be rare? It has to be bought up. It also has to be scarce. Only there's a way to make hex scarce. Oh, I can't think of any. Wait, I can. Yeah, divine. Do not date. In closing, do not date while you're broke or in terrible shape or your life is chaotic. First, get your life in order. I won't go through that. This is what I've followed these I followed these interesting tweets, and instead of listening to other people, it's like, oh, okay, they got these like, I don't know if they're accounts, but they're set up. They're pretty interesting. Go in and have a look at their thread. Self improvement goes through. I mean, I find this more beneficial. It's like reading a small short book, how to, or some. So a man is a fool who falls in love for the first time. How to avoid being a fool in love. Goes on. Boundary. Speak your mind. Know your value. Independence is sexy. Just how to learn from mistakes. You know, watch for red flags. Prioritizing yourself. A lot of us like they regurgitate the same stuff over and over, but it's I find it pretty interesting. I'm using it more for fitness as well. Like it's just like, even though I already know it, it's like seeing it for some reason it's just helping. I don't know why. It is funny. It's got like different ones like this and this, and then it's good because for the longest time I haven't seen this for the longest time, and now this stuff's starting to appear again. It's like they're right. We're not alone in Hexaco. It's not as boring. Too bad, man. Yeah, wish I knew at 35 when you're at 20. I wish I, anyway, you know what I mean. I like this one. This is my son. Son, show up even at your lowest. You get tested when it's time for you to elevate. Don't break. Texicans, don't break. Alright. And now you might have been tested a bit. See? The world will not treat you better just because you are good. Oof. Right. That's about it. I think. Yeah, this is a good one. Alright, yeah. Alright, I'll close it out. Just some thoughts about why the ecosphere could be performing not more stably, but it could be possibly due to the stable pools allowing for optimal flow of capital, I would say, for optimal albeit small fundamentals when buying and when selling, in terms of routing and how one might, like if you have a lot of money and there's a stable pool providing you 11%, that's pretty good. You don't even have to play with anything. You just chuck it in there, get your 11%. Beautiful. And that's beneficial to the entire candy shop, I would say. It's almost like how what GameStop now is I don't even know what they are now. They just have all this like capital. They probably could just close all their shops and just have a big giant term deposit. Yep, this is GameStop now. Enough capital has been raised. Again, not financial advice, nothing like that. But going back to crypto in closing, it's performing pretty good. Maybe people want to pay attention to this. I don't know. it's up to you. But if you haven't heard about HEX, or you haven't heard about, um, haven't heard about Pulse Chain at least, or the DEX on Pulse Chain, where I would say the deepest liquidity pools, which could be beneficial, I would say. Could be wrong, and you haven't heard about how to mine. If you haven't heard about yield farming before, and you're in DeFi, then I don't know where you've been. Probably not you guys in the chat, but if anyone else ever just stumbles across this content and is able to actually listen to what I'm saying and just check it, maybe just maybe, they might go out and experiment, discover themselves, discover how to make free money, or at least discover the ability to just earn off stables for very minimal fees, because the fees suck on Ethereum versus Pulse Chain at the moment. And in closing, we've seen another buy come through, another buy come through, another buy come through. Oh, sell and a buy. And if you had a BC8 in at 0.00626, you'd be in profit by a little bit right now, just a little bit. And if it continues at this rate, I think we're going to see $1 HEX sooner than we would ever have thought. Because I know a lot of us have been waiting around, or I've been waiting around going, what's going on? This is just brutal bad. Now it's like, oh wait, now there's some stability pools, there's some stable pools. Ooh, oh, now it's doing something. Oh my god, it's going green. The green candles. This is interesting again. So I think we'll leave it there. What do we got? Yeah, like I said, I haven't been touching anything else except scrolling through the what's it called? Buy boat. Failure is part of the success, people. Remember that. You have two choices: stay down or get up. Oh, calm must be looking alright. Why did I sell my calm? Why did I sell my Hedron? No. Alright. Having too much fun. I see the time zone shifting. People are starting to wake up. It's close to 9 o'clock in some areas and close to, yeah, so interesting to see if Can you imagine if someone heard that and they actually did stake everything 555? That would be devastating. Well, not devastated, but like they wouldn't have as much. They wouldn't be able to enjoy their time as much, especially if they saw a huge pump in price. But in the future, they might be able to look back and be like, huh, now I'm like super mega wealthy. If they make it that far, don't. It says delisted. Sucked in. Alright, bye bye liquidity over an OK centralized exchanges. Bye bye. That doesn't, I don't care about that. But yeah. Alright, go to close. What else? Alright, catches all. Bye bye.